Introducing an anonymous man as he stands to read a portion of a book read by many in the world of the 12 Steppers. As he reads, another man stands to insult our reader and suggests that he leaves the rest of them alone and start his own talk show. Unbeknownst to the one slinging the insults, his actions spur on the original man, and the birth of a recovery talk and positive music podcast is born in the 12-Step Zone.
The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Here we go!
Static life fills your brain, and the world seems a little too insane. Just twist that dial, don't hesitate. There's a haven where good vibes await. Tune in and Take 12 for some joy and cheer. It's the sound of hope coming in crystal clear. Recovery talk, the music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Well, welcome one and all to the 12-Step Zone here at Take 12 Recovery Radio, the world's oldest and original recovery talk and recovery music radio station and podcast, with our intern, Kat, in the studio. Hi, Kat.
Hi.
Hey. And, of course, Mr. Dion from Trudging Together in Raw Recovery is joining us once again. The topic this week: why meaning makers may not make it. And of course, the make-believe 12-step recovery orchestra.
Cloud your mind, and you're searching for a sign to find.
Roger McDermott is out playing around somewhere. We don't know where. Where are you, Roger? Where are you?
Come from.
Welcome to another episode of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show.
Sound of hope coming in crystal clear. Recovery talk and music so grand, a beacon of light, a helping hand.
Zippity-doo-dah.
And zippity-yay.
Yes, indeedy. Kat is going to, you don't see her on camera this week, but Kat is going to Japan for 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Nippon, actually, is what it's pronounced. Nippon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And it's not Mount Fuji, it's pronounced Mount Fujiyama. Yeah, and you got to know these things because you can insult people.
Oh, yeah.
It's like people that come over to here and they call San Francisco Frisco. People in San Francisco hate that.
Really?
Yeah, they don't like it. I'm going to
no
Frisco.
idea.
No, they don't like it.
What about people who come to Oregon and they mispronounced Lake Oswego?
Pull your mic a little bit closer. Oh, Lake Oswego. How do they pronounce it?
I can't remember.
Lake Oswego?
Yeah, they just.
Yeah. So she's going to be gone for 3 weeks. So you're going to have a blast. I know you will. Yeah. So just a beautiful country, absolutely beautiful country, and amazing people. Okay. So Dion Miller is, of course, our co-host once again this week, and tell us about Raw Recovery and Trudging Together, Dion.
Well, Raw Recovery is a podcast. It's a little bit different. The podcast is a little different, where even the name of the show is, at one point it usually was like Raw Recovery with Dion Miller, special guest. And I changed it. I'm like, wait a minute. This show is not about me. I'm the host. I press the record button and do some laughing and crying. What am I doing? So I changed it. Raw Recovery with whoever the guest is, hosted by Dion Miller. I made it their show.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing it. People seem to get very comfortable with me. And so we get these stories that we usually wouldn't get because the person is comfortable. We allow for your own anonymity level. And I've been interviewing other people for, well, close to 25 years now.
Yeah, long time.
I used to interview local bands and put them on radio.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So,
yeah, very cool. And so the website for...
Oh, yeah, that would
podcast,
help.
yes,
Trudgingtogether.org.
Trudgingtogether.org. You can also go to take12radio.com and click on the Recovery Podcast Network, and you will find Trudging Together there as well as part of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Podcast Network.
Yeah, and we're looking for speakers. I'm looking for speakers. So you can reach me, DionMiller@live.com. That would be the easiest way. Send me a message if you'd like to share your story. I'll get you booked. We'll get you set up, and we'll get it on out there.
Sweet. Nice. So we should have that information coming up on our video feed right about now. There you go. Okay. We take care of all that stuff in post-production.
Yeah.
That sounds so official. And we're doing
it does, doesn't it? Makes it sound like we're doing something.
Oh, my goodness sakes. All right. DTD. Okay. Hey, listen. Hey, are you bored with your recovery? Are you? No. Hey, listen, you have heard me talk about it before a million times for years. A great contributor to Take 12 Recovery Radio is Dr. Alan Berger, what I call the emotional sobriety guru. He's got a book called 12 Stupid Things That Mess Up Recovery. It's about 12 stupid things that mess up recovery. Yeah. It's an easy read. It's an excellent tool for
great topic,
you. Too. Yes. And 12 Essential Insights for Emotional Sobriety. He has a bunch of other books also, but these are my two favorite. Getting Your Recovery Unstuck. You may find that you're not stuck. You just stopped.
Yeah. And those are really good books right now with the holidays coming up, too.
Yes.
I would highly recommend both of those books for the holidays coming up.
Yeah, they're good stuff. You can get them. You can get your autographed copy autographed copy at abpht.com. abpht.com. You can also get them on Amazon. Highly recommend them. Great guy, great friend to Take 12 Recovery Radio. All right. Let's see here. Let's do this because I want to jump right into this topic because we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be stirring the pot a bit, and I'm kind of excited for that because we love to stir the pot
with love.
With love and a firm hand. Never harsh, but sometimes firm.
That's right. There's a difference.
So listen to moi talk about Act Social, and we'll come right back and delve into this topic. Why meeting makers may not make it right after this. Check this out.
Hey there, my friends. Listen, life-controlling issues aren't limited to substance abuse. Everyone has something where the tail is wagging the dog. Character defects and shortcomings that manifest in a variety of ways. And though the symptoms we display can be very different, the fuel that drives these defects of character is always the same. You and I have a God-shaped hole, and we attempt to fill it with our own intellect and our so-called good ideas rather than with spiritual principles and biblical truth. Well, I'd like to introduce you to the Acts Social Podcast, a podcast that brings you behind the scenes with top ministries on the Acts Social platform, a social network built to spark revival and gospel impact. Hear powerful testimonies, creative ministry strategies, and raw stories of how God shaped these leaders through trials and triumphs. These refreshing episodes will equip and inspire you to live out your best life while serving the God who is God. So, visit us at take12radio.com and click on the Recovery Podcast Network link for a variety of inspiring shows and our newest member, the Acts Social Podcast. That's take12radio.com and click on the Recovery Podcast Network link.
Hey everybody, this is Coleman from KHLT, Recovery Broadcasting, and you're listening to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Podcast with the Monty Man.
Thank you, Coleman. Yes, bum. Alrighty, why meeting makers may not make it. Now, we have, if you've been in recovery for any length of time at all, if you've been attending 12-step meetings, you probably have heard somebody say meeting makers make it, along with a bunch of other nonsense like 90 meetings in 90 days, just don't drink in between meetings. In fact, I heard that the other day again, and I'm like, the guy's been around Dion for years. He actually said, you don't have to do these steps. All you got to do is go to 90 meetings in 90 days and don't drink in between meetings. And I'm like, if I could have done that, I would have done that. You know what I mean? So sometimes with the best of intentions, we spew out stuff that can actually be harmful. True?
Oh, absolutely. It's something I talk about all the time.
You do.
Misinformation in recovery has the power to kill.
Yeah. So, Kat, let me pose this to you. So, being somebody who isn't in that world necessarily of meetings and so forth, if you were struggling with an addiction and somebody said to you, let's say alcohol, and somebody said to you, go to 90 support meetings in 90 days, so that's one a day, and make a decision to not drink in between those meetings. It sounds, on the surface, that sounds like good advice, doesn't it?
I suppose, because it takes a certain amount of days to break a habit.
Sure.
But the thing I would think about is one time I had a friend challenge me to not eat junk food for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
And when that time was over, I bought like a whole pack of cookies and ate it because I'm like, oh, I'm finally done now. It must be good, you know?
Ho-hos. Everybody loves ho-hos.
Yeah. And your mind said, hey, I accomplished this, so my reward is going to be whatever I was avoiding.
Exactly.
That's my reward. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So how easy was it for you to abstain from eating those things for that period of time? Was it a struggle?
It was definitely a struggle, but if I managed to do it, he was going to give me money. So, well, I did do it, so I did get money for it.
Nice. Yeah.
And so it was hard, but I mean, that was a big motivation.
Right. So I think some of these what do we call them? These platitudes or whatever, are birthed out of some well-meaning hearts, but they're misguided and they're not sufficient. They may be sufficient for somebody. That's in the case of alcoholism. It may be sufficient for somebody that is a heavy drinker or an alcohol abuser, but maybe not be an alcoholic. They may not be powerless over alcohol. And so they just need some good advice and a good swift kick in the butt, and they do okay. And that's fine and all. But for the person that has lost the power in choice and they're powerless, these things like meeting makers make it. Just go to meetings. You know, um, that can actually be harmful, and actually it can contribute to somebody's relapse and maybe eventually
I,
even a
it
death.
can. I
You
mean,
know.
every alcoholic is looking for the easier, softer way, and when you give them options, you know,
Yeah.
and they're going to take the easier, softer way. I'd like to describe what 90 and 90 is actually used for.
Yes. Talk
Now,
about
are you
that.
going to complete 90 and 90? You might, but what we ask is that you do the best that you can. What are we doing? Number one, accountability is the number one way to keep an alcoholic sober. So we're helping you find your home group and a sponsor during these 90 meetings in 90 days is what we're doing. We're trying to get you to stay consistent and go to the same meeting each time so that when you disappear, people wonder where you're at. Because then you're driving down the road, 37 days sober, and you're like, gosh, a drink sounds good. Oh, wait a minute, I got to go to my AA meeting a little bit later. Those people are used to seeing me, and I like seeing them. And it changes things. But you also got to be working the steps and moving forward. So it's about accountability and consistency. So that's what 90 meetings in 90 days is about.
And you really can't. You to be fair, you can't make a proper judgment call on something that you may want to be involved in by just going to it a couple of times.
Correct.
And so 90 and 90 is actually some good advice when it comes to that. But if that's all you're doing,
Yeah.
right, and you believe that meeting makers make it, well, meeting makers will make it if they're if they're following the instructions that hopefully they're hearing in those meetings. The problem is so often we're not hearing the instructions of how to recover from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body while in the meetings. What we're hearing is a bunch of nonsense and people whining about their day and drinking bad coffee and just wasting each other's time. And I'm afraid that I'm not saying that's in every case. No, but by no means is it. But one meeting of 30 people that's happening is too many.
I would agree. It's gotten a little out of control.
Yeah.
And I would challenge anybody, and you're welcome to write me or whatever. We run a great meeting at 5 o'clock on Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Saturday, and we've even gone back a little bit. We don't ask who here is willing to sponsor. We ask who here needs a sponsor, and then we're going to find you a sponsor. That's how that group works. So if you're having a hard time in AA finding a place, I challenge you to check out Grassroots. It's a great meeting.
This is a Zoom meeting?
It is a Zoom meeting,
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And try both. Try in person, try Zoom, and find a group that you're going to know. Your gut is going to say, I belong here.
You kind of know when you're home. You know what I mean?
You do.
Yeah. So why do meeting makers may not make it? Well, because if that's all they're doing, right, then you're just keeping a chair warm.
Yeah.
It's just like anything, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to church and all you're doing is, well, I like to go there because the music is lively. But are you doing anything? Are you following any of the suggestions that's coming from the platform? Are you're complaining about your life is in the ditch, and you can't wait till Sunday to get that recharge. But then the rest of the week, you're not applying the principles that are being taught from the lectern or the pulpit.
Yeah.
Are you going to Rotary Club and you're complaining about the state of people not wanting to serve each other and being helpful to each other, but then you won't volunteer for any of the community service projects that Rotary's involved in? And I mean, it's the same kind of thing, right? It's this mindset that we want to complain about our situation, but do we really want to do anything about it that is going to make any difference at all?
Yeah, my sponsor told me that I was not to dump in meetings, that I was not to, I might be able to bring a problem to a meeting, but when I consistently dump about the same thing, like when the topic is, okay, is acceptance or how you doing today? we're not a how you doing today group. We're going to take a problem, we're going to make a solution out of it. Then you're going to leave and apply these same principles out in that world. And that's the hard part. In the meetings, I feel safe and protected. It's easy to work the principles there because we're all doing it. But when I go out into the world, that is when I'm going to be tested. That is when I can start utilizing those tools that we get from that spiritual toolkit that you're given in the first 30 days.
So that's where your recovery is going to really show its
in your family, your community, at your work. These are the places that you can make an effect. And then there's always because we have a lot of this in a we call it two-stepping, which I think applies here. And we're not talking about the country dance.
Yeah. Right. Do you think? Has it been your experience that at the I'm not talking about Zoom meetings so much as I am live meetings, knee to knee, that it's more that people are attending meetings. It's the same people attending meetings, but they're not really applying the principles found in those steps that are the instructions, the spiritual disciplines. You find that most of the people in your circles really are just being meeting attenders, or do you think that most of them are actually applying and implementing these principles?
There's a couple of things in there. First of all, there's the 80-20 rule, and it applies in AA, where I notice that 20% of the people do 80% of the work. They're always chairing. They're always taking things on.
The same people, yeah.
And even in my group, we've created service work for people under 30 days, like being a greeter or reading. Okay. Now, the key to going to a meeting is participating. If you are going to a meeting and keeping your camera off, or you are not sharing in a meeting, then you are not participating in your recovery. Even if it's claiming your seat. My name's Dion. I'm an alcoholic. I don't know much about this topic, but I'm glad I'm here. Thank you, everybody. Even if it's claiming your seat, you've got to participate in your own recovery. Going to meetings it can get dangerous because you got to watch out for the cliques and what we call the Mutual Admiration Society.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Where they pat each other on the back, and that's all about positivity. Well, you're just not being positive. There's no real work. There's just, one thing kind of after another. These are the same people that usually say things like, do the next right thing.
Yeah. And if you ask them what that means, they really don't know.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ask God?
So
I did.
Let's transition a little bit here, because we've made it, I think, over the last 22 years, the Take 12 Recovery Radio has made it pretty clear our stance on platitudes and just going to meetings and drinking bad coffee. That is not how you recover.
No.
Reading the 12 and 12, for instance, and never cracking the big book is not digging into the directions for working the steps. The directions for working the steps is in the big book. Things like that. We've made it pretty clear our stance on that kind of thing. However, we want to make it also very clear that we do not speak for Alcoholics Anonymous in any way, shape, or form. I don't even claim membership in Alcoholics Anonymous on this show. But I will share my experience in what I've seen and witnessed in attendance or around people and that kind of thing. So let's shift gears here for a minute, and let's for the rest of the show, let's talk about some of the dangers that are going on, and one of the things that you are stepping out into. Although you've been doing it for a while, but you've kind of really put some meat on the bones here with this new website on Facebook.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Mr. You pronounce it. I'm not going to pronounce it.
Mysticopolis is kind of a
Mr. Copolis.
Yeah, that's why I let people know you can call me Mr.
Mysticopolis. Okay.
Yeah.
Mysticopolis, the recovery watchdog.
So I
Now-
woof, woof.
Yeah. Now, I don't want people to misunderstand. You're not claiming that you're the know-it-all about everything
No.
correct and right, but if somebody doesn't step up to the plate and be part of exposing the things that are dangerous in this world, then who? If not you, then who? Right? People are very critical about
Exactly.
people that will stir the pot. But do we
Yes.
not need the pot stirred? Because if we don't, the soup gets burnt.
But, and too many cooks spoil the broth. This is a really good example. Detoxes. Well, I'm going to answer your question first. Yes, somebody had to do it. It's a decision that I've been working on. I've been advocating for the recovery community in Colorado for about 4 years now.
And why?
And
Because there's a problem. Tell us
Because
what the
there's a
problem
huge
is.
problem. It started with the company that I was working for. I was a recovery coach.
Okay.
I found out that what they did is when you're in this field and you're certified, you have to keep that certification up.
Yes.
And part of that is doing what's called supervision once a month. Whoever you work for, or you have to have somebody with some letters after their name, like LPC,
Right,
things
for
like that.
supervising
Or-
and CEU
yeah, somebody
credits,
that's a
right? You got to do
supervisor.
CEU credits. You got to keep up on those. You have to have
Yeah,
so
exactly.
many. Yeah.
So I found that my boss had charged my Medicaid. I'm an employee, not a client. They charged my Medicaid, and that is Medicaid fraud. And that's
So
where
wait
it
a minute. So
started.
you're working for a company as a recovery coach.
Yes.
Okay. So they hired you. They pay you.
Uh-huh. I was
Right.
1099, so I got paid per meeting.
Okay. All right. So, and they did what to your Medicaid?
They charged my Medicaid like I was a client, and they charged for an hour so that they would get paid to do my
So
supervision.
they're charging your Medicaid in order to pay you.
In order to do my supervision so I can
Oh,
continue
or you
getting
do
paid.
supervision.
Yeah. And we call that Medicaid fraud.
Yeah, that's not.
That's-
You're not supposed to. Yeah. That's,
So I reported it, and then I found out that a lot of people were committing Medicaid fraud. And I'm not going to get into that. What it is this. We have a bunch of alcoholics running around with no accountability. And an alcoholic with no accountability, even with the best of intentions, does the wrong thing. It's just how we're made. Without a group of people, without other people saying things. It's been often where I'm going a direction, somebody will stop me, one of my friends say, Dion, this is kind of out of your lane, don't you think? Do you think it's this way? And they challenge me a little bit to make sure
we all
I'm
need
doing the right thing.
We all need people in our lives that'll call us out,
Absolutely.
right? Don't we, Kat? Don't we need people in our lives, mentors, people that we're accountable to? You're not even in this field, but you know that, right?
It definitely helps. Yeah, an example for me would be like I just graduated college, and like I had my professors hold me accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need that. Without accountability, we go down rabbit holes that, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah,
anyway,
and then-
continue.
and I could cite case after case, and the one that really gets me is this. Well, let's just do detoxes because So back in the 90s, I used to work in detox in the 90s. And I can tell you right there now, we were winning the war on drugs. We were winning. What a great job. It's not often you can say, I loved working at detox. I loved it because I was helping people. Right? And so I've been around where there's been success. Now, what it was a mixture of clinical, which I call people servants' hearts. They're non-alcoholics who got their bachelor's degrees that want to help people.
Gotcha.
Then we had recovered alcoholics and addicts with education. And between these, we worked off what was called a success rate. That's how we got paid. And we were very good at it. We were sending people to treatment by the droves, right? A little bit later, and I don't know which president it was, came along and said, hey, we will pay you more if you just hire people with bachelor's degrees. And at that point, anybody in recovery, unless you had a bachelor's degree, you couldn't work at detox. Well, the problem is this: 70% of recovery starts at detox. And if we are not there to help, so now this is what I do. I approach these places and I say, one recovered alcoholic helping another is the best way. We can agree on that, right? We can.
Yeah.
Okay, we can agree on that.
Yeah.
Then why aren't we doing it?
Yeah.
Then why aren't we doing what you're doing is giving us the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I call that insanity.
So you're not saying that what I'm hearing you're not saying that people with a 2-year or 4-year degree aren't qualified. You're saying that when we take the best of both worlds and we communicate together, right? You take the people that are book smart, because we hear all the time, wow, if you're not in recovery, you really can't counsel somebody. Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You may be very educated in the area of brain chemistry and trauma and all that stuff. So you take that guy or gal, and then you take the person who's a recovered alcoholic that has a heart for helping people, who's been there, and you get them sitting down at the same table with the new guy who is in detox, right?
Yep.
Because everything starts where? At the beginning. That's the beginning, right? And you get that team working together. That guy or gal has got a way better chance than without that. So if you just take the recovered alcoholic, or you just take the person with the bachelor's and team them up with the new person, you're not nearly as effective, right?
You're correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and this kind of started because when I got sober again at 45, I went to detox 22 times in 2 years begging for help. And all they ever did was hand me a piece of paper and say, good luck. Nobody reached out.
Wow.
I was going to AA meetings for 2 years begging for help. I kept raising my hand because I thought they were saying, does anybody here need a sponsor? But AA had changed in the time I was gone, and now is who here is willing to sponsor? So they must have thought I was crazy. But my question is, why did you let me flounder for 2 years? Why did no one approach me for 2 years?
Right.
That is what we need to advocate. We need to bring back, in the last week, Central Office and GSO have sent me letters begging for money. They even have tears when the answer is 12th step work, not begging for money. This is, the concept is off. So we're even going to advocate for AA and all these different places where alcoholics land.
Yeah.
Celebrate recovery, smart recovery. We're going to go and ask the right questions. Okay? So this isn't about just saying these people are wrong. No, we've got to approach them and say, help us help you. We got to Jerry Maguire these people, because they didn't go to work at detox because they didn't want to help somebody. But now that person is just sending them to resources that aren't working, and then they quit at a dissatisfied
do you think
job.
It's too easy for people to so I've got all my certifications. I'm a peer support specialist / adult addictions. I'm a board certified recovery coach. I got all that stuff. I did all that stuff. I had to keep up on that. I had to do webinars or have to do that. If I want to stay certified, and you get to a place where if you keep your certification up, depending on who you work for, now there's billable hours. So if I'm taking, if I'm a peer support person, but my main job is taking people, to their different appointments, for instance, right, and making sure they get here from A to B, and they're going to their meetings, and they're getting rides and all that. Those are all billable hours.
Sure.
So, and then you learn, if you go deeper into it, you learn how to code and all that kind of thing. But do you think it's your opinion now? Do you think it is too easy for the new guy to get certified as a peer support specialist or a recovery coach? Do you think it is? We've made it too easy to get those certifications? And if you think it's too easy, what do you suggest?
Now, number one, I would like to say that I am a supporter of recovery coaches. It is the trainers that is the problem. Just like sober livings, we've had some great people working at sober livings. It's the owners that's the problem. All right. So in this case, it's the trainers. Now, when I went through my recovery coach training, which honestly, I could have taught it better than the guy that taught it. But
Amen,
so there
buddy.
was, I mean, all he did was the first thing he did was cut down AA. And I'm like, you just got done touting multiple paths to recovery. Even that was a sham. Multiple pathways to recovery was but we're not talking about that. So there was a kid, and he was in the class, 3 months sober. Okay, now he was becoming a recovery coach so that he could become the manager of a sober living. And everything in that is already wrong. Okay? He relapsed on Tuesday. We met Monday through Friday to get through this class. He relapsed on Tuesday. He came back Wednesday, and they still completed it, and he went on to be a sober living manager.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
Now, at the end I asked my trainer, I said, how much time do you require somebody to have before you make them a recovery coach?
I thought it was 2 years.
And he said, if their money is green, we train.
Really?
That was his answer.
Wow.
So how easy is it? I could go print off a recovery coach certification and no one would know any better.
Right.
Nobody would know. I had all those certificates too.
They don't even use the gold seal thing anymore. Mine has the gold seal that's embossed by the state of Oregon and all that. They don't even use that anymore. It's just
because it is not valid. 60 hours of training does not make you. It gets worse than that. What they do is these recovery coaches go into AA meetings, tell somebody they will sponsor them, a new person. They turn them into a recovery coach. They did this to this kid.
They don't take him to the steps.
That was body brokering right in front of me.
Right, yeah.
They pulled the young kids, got them all excited because they're popular, and we're lonely people. So they're using the loneliness of alcoholics to bring them in, and then they make them a recovery coach, and then they what? Relapse. Now what are they? They're a client.
Yep.
That is how they get a client.
Yep.
And it needs to end. That's one of the biggest problems. And they're utilizing AA to do it. But when I approach AA, they say that's an outside issue. And I say, you are correct. You are allowing an outside issue in. And you need to stop it. It's on you. I'm letting you know.
Yeah, so, okay, so at least here in Oregon, the requirement is that you can't even take the class unless you've had 2 years sobriety.
I'm glad to hear that.
Here's the problem, though. Anybody can say they have had 2 years sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Anybody can say that. Yeah. People do it all the time. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to admit, very early on in my sobriety, Dion and Kat, very early on, I wasn't honest about my sober time.
Nope.
And I would claim a certain amount of time because I was embarrassed to admit that I had a relapse.
Sure.
Right. And so when I'd go to a convention, a 12-step convention, and they would do a countdown, I was so guilt-ridden. I would make sure I had to, leave and go to the bathroom before they got to the year point that I was claiming, because I just couldn't bring myself to stand up or sit down or raise my hand.
You knew you didn't deserve it.
That must have been hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Until I came clean about it, and then there was so much freedom in that, right? But there are people lying about it. I mean, people early in recovery, we're liars. Honest, we are. And
this is what they'll say. My name is Dion, and I'm a person with long-term recovery.
What does that mean?
Kinds of things. Exactly. What does that? What does long-term mean to you? To me, 10 plus years. That's long-term recovery.
And so here's the other part. I'm a recovered alcoholic. Does that mean that I'm cured? No. It means I've recovered from the damage, just like I recovered from food poisoning, right? But if I eat bad shrimp, am I going to get sick? You betcha. So I still, my metabolism does not metabolize alcohol like the average or average temperate drinker, right?
I'm a recovered alcoholic, but I would never announce it that way in a meeting. When somebody in a meeting says, I'm Dion, I'm a recovered alcoholic, that what they're doing, that is pride. Because what they want to do is speak above you. Oh, well, we're not recovered. We don't get cured. Oh, well, now I get to teach you something. It's a setup. It's manipulation.
I'm on it. You and I differ here a little bit. I do enter myself as recovered, but not out.
Okay.
And
Well, I
not,
like you, and I'd be wrong. So.
but no. I understand what you're saying, though. But I will say that if I will do that in my home group. But I will say that if I'm visiting somewhere or I'm speaking at a service convention or something like that, I won't do that.
So you do it around people that know you.
Yes, and so what I will do is I will introduce hi, I'm Monty. You know, I'm an alcoholic. If I'm at another fellowship, I may say, hi, I'm Monty. I'm an addict, because that's the way they like it, right? And so I want to be respectful.
Meeting them where they're at.
I will do it. Now, somewhere in my share, I will explain that I've recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. But if I introduce myself as recovered right off the bat, I'm going to lose half the audience, and I don't want to lose half the audience.
Exactly.
And I learned that from Chris S., who is my mentor, but yeah, around in my home group, people know that I believe that I'm recovered. But you're right. It is. So we got to be careful. Well, going back to this thing about. So we got a lot of people running around that got their certification, and they're getting hired on.
Not in Colorado. They're not. Nobody is hiring for peer coaches in Colorado right now.
Yeah. So what were they starting to pay at when they were doing that?
Oh my God!
Do you remember?
Like $16 an hour.
Okay, here it's like $18 an hour.
I went to work at because. And there's the other side. I went to work at a detox here in Colorado a few years ago, and it was the worst job I had. I didn't send one person to treatment, no AA meetings, no AA literature. My boss was too busy fooling around with the girls to get anything to. I mean, it was a mess. I had to stop one sober living because I saw they were body broker. I'm like, you can drop them off, but we ain't sending them back to you. I will not support you in this. You can drop them off. We'll take care of them, but they're not coming back to you.
Talk to me about Mr. Kopoulos and what this Facebook page is about, and what you're really because you're saying the recovery watchdog. That's Mr. Kopoulos. All right. So
yeah.
So what are you exposing? How are you doing it without being a character assassinator?
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. What we can't do is point fingers. What the group is about is understanding what the problem is, and then we're going to come up with a solution for it. The whole intention is to create recovery equity. That means everybody gets the same shot. We got AA or recovery. It needs to not be big business anymore. We need to get back to grassroots, what we know works. Because right now we've got 1 million solutions out there, and what do they say? I got 99 problems. Well, we got 98 problems out there and one that works. But an alcoholic will always chase the easier, softer way. They do not want to conform. They do not want discipline. I mean, if you say the word consequences to an alcoholic, they only think of bad things. They don't even know that there's good consequences.
You're primarily talking about the new guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it about? We got to bring back accountability. If you work in this field, you have got to be held to a higher standard. You've got to be held accountable. Things like if you're going to work in the field 1 to 2 years, we're working on our own training to train recovery coaches and stuff. And I'm going to avoid the government. I don't care what they think, because the government does not belong in recovery anymore. They need to get out.
Yeah, when you're being funded by the government, then you got government control, and there's also, and then the spiritual aspect of the whole thing goes right out the window because you can't talk about it.
That's what I talk to about detoxes. I tell them I can talk to an alcoholic, and I get to say things that you don't get to say.
Right.
And they're like, "What? Like what?" I say, "God."
Right.
And then I just shut up because I want to see their reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Because in a lot of your treatment facilities, the whole higher power thing, and they barely even say that, is suggested only. They go, well, you may want to do something like that, but we can't go there.
Yeah,
that's not part of the solution. That is the solution.
I would agree. There's a clinical side that they need to teach, right? So if
Sure.
we have a treatment center, they need to stick to their clinical, and every night they go to an AA meeting. That's where they get their
Sure.
spirituality.
But if they're
And
not letting
there's our
people
and
do
there's our
that,
balance. And we work in tandem, and your success rate's going to go through the roof. Then we don't have people going to treatment 3, 4, 5, 6 times, filling up the treatment centers when somebody hasn't even been.
so I worked for an organization that was a faith-based recovery
Yeah.
organization. I'm going to be very careful here. Not because I give a rip about the organization, but I have
Sure.
friends that I love dearly that still work for that organization, and
There we go.
I don't want
Yep.
to throw them under the bus. So I worked for this organization, and many of the people there in leadership, their heart was in the right place, but they're no more qualified to deal with addicts and alcoholics than the man on the moon.
Yeah.
And so good in the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right?
Absolutely.
And so there was no there. I was in charge as the education director. I was in charge of
Okay.
aftercare, but the aftercare that I wanted to develop, which included getting plugged into the recovery community outside of the residential program, they wouldn't
Yeah.
allow it. And the reason they would, and I'm like, okay, I get that you want them to be in your bubble. This is a year program, but 3 months before they are to graduate, I'd like to see them getting plugged into the outside recovery community. Let's take them to
Absolutely.
meetings. Let's taking them to the potlucks. Let's go to take them. Maybe a couple of them can actually go to the camp out with supervision. Let's get them rubbing shoulders with the recovery community so they have a community to join when they leave here
Yeah.
and they're not out on their own. And this is the reason that they gave they wouldn't allow it. This was an all men's program. They said there's girls there and people that smoke. And I'm like, are you
Oh,
kidding
no.
me?
Oh no.
Oh no, right? What Kat were you gonna say?
Isn't community involvement and having
Absolutely.
a community like really important?
Very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
So
And-
that's crazy.
But yet they would take these guys and they would put them to work in their thrift stores where there were girls
Oh my
showing up
gosh.
and people who
Okay.
smoked. Because see now that brings in some money.
Oh.
See, so they
Yeah.
as long as they're bringing in money, then it's good. But go to a Celebrate Recovery meeting? No, there's people because that's faith based. Okay,
Yeah.
You don't want to take them to AA? I get it. Can they go to CR? No, there's people that smoke there. There's girls there. They'll talk to them, and I'm like, oh my god! And so they would graduate the program and have no recovery community to plug into.
And then they would relapse.
And then they would relapse,
come back,
and then
they would. Yeah, what a great circle
Yep.
to set yourself
just
up to
keep
make
them
money
going.
off of
Yep.
human beings.
But check this out. Check this out. This particular center, along with many of their centers in the Pacific Northwest, has like a 45 bed capacity, but they never get past 20. It's like almost like God is allowing them to do some work, but until they actually start following the guidance of God, even though
Yeah.
they say they're faith-based, and they start listening to the people who are qualified, he isn't going to fill those beds. Nope.
No.
And they never will.
Do they take Medicaid? Probably not.
No. It's all
They're-
privately funded, and they don't take any money
That is,
from the
that is
government. It's
always
smart.
your first indicator. If you're going somewhere and they don't take Medicaid, I can tell you right now they're no good. That's just your first indicator. If they are not willing to work, see, the thing is they're
Don't
not
take anything
taking
like that.
Medicaid. So
But here's the other
the
thing, though. Here's the other thing, though, Dion. To their
Yeah.
credit, I will say that they don't turn anybody away for lack of funds.
Okay.
That's good. At
They
least.
So
don't
maybe
turn
they were
anybody away for lack of
scholarship.
funds. Now, they will
Okay.
give them a bill when they graduate, knowing that they'll probably never pay it. Whereas the Salvation Army, for instance, they never turn anybody away either, but they never give them a bill.
No.
Salvation Army is the largest social assistance program in the world, and it's always free. No
Yeah.
questions asked.
They
And their
they
beds
shut
are
down the
full,
treatment center
man.
here.
Their beds
Yeah.
are full.
Salvation Army is non-existent in Colorado.
Is
They
it
shut it down about
really?
2 years ago. Yeah. I'm telling you, we need Came to Believe here. We need it bad.
Wow.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can make some connections. I think they might have started the men's side back up.
Yeah.
But what
Definitely no
happened,
residential.
because I was asked to come and help. They said, we're going to shut it down unless we can get this going. And my name was called. So I went, and we had some great things ready to go. We really did. But they decided to go ahead and let the abusers come in, and instead of helping them find jobs and learn about recovery, they thought boxing would be the way to go.
Boxing?
So instead of my program, they went with boxing.
Okay. Let's go back to Mr. Akopoulos again. So this is a Facebook page. It's a private page, right? You got to be invited to join it, or?
Anybody can join. I do check to see who does join, though. I don't need people. What we don't need is people coming and spying and things like that. What we need is people that want to help us change these things, but do it in a way that, this is what it comes down to: leadership by example. If we can't be the good example, it probably isn't the right way to go.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I'm not here to call people out. I'm not working on putting people in jail. That's not what we're talking about. We just need change. The consequences are between you and your higher power. That's none of my business anyway.
But you are going to call a spade on this Facebook page.
Absolutely, I will. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Absolutely. People have already been reaching out to me about some very horrible things that have been done, and if that's the case, then yeah.
How are you going to spot check that? How are you going to confirm that those stories are true?
That's going to obviously take some digging.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I do not shy away from hard conversations. In fact, I enjoy them, because if it means we're going to get to a solution, right? North Star is a company out of Utah, and what they're doing is they're bringing on investors so they can give money to help these help places, right?
Yeah.
And it isn't quite. I didn't agree with it, so I sat down with this guy, and he made sense. I'm like, cool. I'm going to hook you up with some people that I know that are some great resources. If you could help them with funding, that would be great. Yeah, we'd love to do that. And they disappeared. So I wrote him an email on Friday saying, and then I got an email from them saying, hey, enter now for a $20,000 giveaway I'm like, what is this? This isn't recovery. We could use that $20,000. So I wrote him again. I'm like, you disappeared on us. What are your actual intentions? You need to tell me, right? And it's been a month and a half since he was supposed to set up a meeting with my friend. And his answer was, my brother needed help, trying to get him into recovery. So my time has been really consumed. And that was just a lie.
Yeah, I was going to say that doesn't sound even legit.
And he said, I challenge you to watch. And challenge accepted. I am going to watch them very closely. It's my bullshit detector. It's my intuition. I know when somebody is full of it. Okay? But that doesn't make it fact. Then I have to do a little bit of digging.
Yeah.
Usually have hard conversations is usually what we need.
Are you getting known as the guy, the whistleblower guy?
I am in Colorado. They call me the narc.
Oh, you're the narc?
Yeah, I'm the narc. But they don't understand that if I want to keep my position, if I want to keep what I do, then I have to report. That is actually part of the job that we report. Now, if you get reported on, that doesn't make it a bad thing. It just means that we need to make some corrections.
Sure.
The big thing here was 3 years ago, those same people that charged my Medicaid, they got caught in Medicaid fraud. $85,000 chargeback. Doesn't sound huge in the grand scheme of things, so I'll narrow it down. Medicaid pays $18 per hour. That means that they committed Medicaid fraud 4,300 times in a year and a half period. Now that's a lot, isn't it?
That's
and they
a
knew they
lot.
were doing it. These same people are on the opiate council for the Attorney General, the same person that I reported to about these people, and it is collusion. It's collusion.
Wow.
So there are people that were on the board for the opiate council, for the recovery residency, for Signal, and all these government places that were caught in Medicaid fraud. And our Attorney General does nothing. I made a whole report to them, and they told me I had a great case. They're like, this is a good case. They caught the body brokering. Silence. And now they say, oh, we don't even have anything over here for you. All right. So they totally deny that they even sat down with me for 2 hours. Well, I have the emails back and forth from the director that helped me. Right. And he won't write me back either. But he'll look at my Facebook page. He checks up on me.
Sure.
So there's something going on there. I think our Attorney General's taking kickbacks on sober livings. I really do. But I have no proof on that.
Why do you think this fraud is so common?
Money.
Mm.
When alcoholics don't find God, they go after one of two things: money or sex. And they're going after the money.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's-
absolutely they will.
That's sad that like so much is being influenced by money when the focus should be like helping. People.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you know what the good book says? It's not money that's evil. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil, and it certainly has proven out.
Well, we use money all the time I use money all the time to help people out.
Sure.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It helps me help more people.
Nothing
But I
wrong
have
with-
no money. I can walk out my front door and go help somebody.
Sure, it's just a tool. It's just a tool that we could use.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's just like any tool. There are people that are going to abuse it. And in the case of this, we're talking about people's lives. We're not talking about their livelihood. We're talking about their lives. And so,
And I said that earlier that, and that's why I'm speaking so loud. If misinformation wasn't killing my recovery community, I probably wouldn't say anything. Hey, but my slogan is this: I don't care if you believe me or not, I'm still going to try and save your child.
sure.
Yeah.
Mystacopolis is the Facebook page. Mystacopolis.
Yeah. Or you look for the Recovery Watchdog.
Recovery
That'll
Watchdog.
probably be easier.
Yeah, okay. Recovery Watchdog. Yeah. Huh. Wow. All right. Well, listen, a lot of these, why meeting makers may not make it, if that's all you're doing, if that's, it's like anything. Look, if you've been around your home group for the last 15 years and you're still just pouring coffee, if that's all you do, hey,
look at being the
that
secretary.
could be a big deal in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
But if that's all you, I bless your heart, I guess. I don't know, but who am I?
You'll appreciate this story. A few years ago, somebody came to me and they said, "Hey, Dion, we're going down to Date at Time Club because so-and-so is celebrating 20 years of being a treasurer for the group."
What?
And exactly. That's exactly what I said. I said, we should have had this party 18 years ago. What's he doing? We don't celebrate that.
What? And what happened to the spirit of rotation? Why is he still the
That's
treasurer?
it. Yeah, I would call that a selfish person. I'm going to go celebrate him being selfish for 18 years.
Oh,
That's part of the problem. And people buy into it because they don't know any better.
They're talking.
So they're being told what by people that they think they can trust.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself has not helped us much. I'd like to refer to something that Kat talked about earlier about it takes about a month to break a bad habit.
Yeah.
Right? Now, alcoholics have about 1 million bad habits. So you add that up, okay? The saying is you only have to change one thing, everything. So it's going to be one bad habit at a time.
Yeah, the only thing you have to change is everything. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have no bad habits.
It's one of
I'm
the-
not ODD.
When I send my letter out for the podcast,
Yeah.
and before we get started, I'm like, "Do you have any pens near you?" "Yeah, I got one right here." I'm like, "Get rid of it."
My son is convincing me. He said, "Dad, you're ADHD, the OD, you are all that." And I go, "No, I'm not." And he goes, "Yes, you are." Because we were he was installing new smoke detectors here out in the studio, and then in the house he was installing them. And as he's doing it, I found something else that needed to be done, and I went, "Oh, hey, Cameron, can you do this?" And he goes, "Hold on, Dad, let me get this done." And then I found something else. He goes, "Dad, you are so ADD, it's crazy." And I'm like, "What? No, I'm not." It's multitasking, isn't that what we call it? I mean,
Yeah. And
People do
denial's not a
throw
river in
that word
Africa
around.
either.
they do. I mean, it's kind of people do throw it around a lot. So my other son said, "No, it's where do you go? Task stacking, right? Which is a good thing." So
I would agree with that.
you have you heard that term,
I have
stacking?
not heard that.
No, but it makes perfect sense to this ADHD.
Yeah. So if you're going to vacuum your living room, there's probably 3 or 4 things you could do almost at the same time and get it all done. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that,
I watch a movie while I clean.
right?
I do laundry and clean and everything while the Bronco game is on.
If
Post-game, absolutely.
If I'm gonna
The
have
Funkle Broncos.
this screen on, I may as well be doing something with my hands.
There
Might
you
as
go.
well. All right. So, Dion, give your email out one more time.
Dion Miller at live.com. That's DION Miller like the beer at live.com. That's the best way to get. I'm willing to give out my phone number to 720-519-9702.
Okay, slow down. 720
519
519.
9702.
If you want to pick a bone with Dion Miller, this is how you can do it. If you want more information about some of the stuff that needs to be exposed, this is how you
Or
can do
maybe
it.
you've been abused and you need to talk to somebody or ask what you can do about it. That's what we're
Yeah.
here for. I'm going to be working on Colorado first, but if I can teach other people how to advocate in their communities and make it a better place, then we will do that.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's whatever God tells me to do. I'm just going to do the next right thing, Monty.
Are you?
No.
Absolutely. All right. Don't forget to get your book, 12 Stupid Things That Mess Up Recovery and 12 Essential Insights for Emotional Sobriety by Dr. Alan Berger. abphd.com. Listen, it's been a great show. Controversial one for sure. We hope that we get your email. You can always email us here at take12radio@comcast.net. All right. Our closing song is certainly a controversial one. I think you're going to appreciate this, Dion. It's called Closed Meetings. Check this out. It's by Michael Purrington and the Messengers. Here's Michael.
We got a pretty exclusive club here. We're badasses off the booze. Had to pass out in public to be a member. Had to vomit on my shoes. Had warrants out on me in 3-4 states. Checks bouncing all over the banks. I was in detox before you were born. I spilled more than you drank. It's a closed meeting. No normies allowed. Closed meeting. We're sick and proud. Gotta fill your world with distrust. Fill your friends with pain and disgust if you want to be one of us. Are you really an alcoholic? You better have a hell of a story to prove it. We don't let just anybody in here. If you still got a family, a home, a career, you may not measure up as a lowlife. Like me with my 3 DUIs, on a first name basis with the paramedics, had my stomach pumped 5 times. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting, we're sick and proud. Gotta fill your world with distrust. Fill your friends with pain and disgust. If you wanna be one of us, do you wanna be one of us? Principles in this program. Love and tolerance is our code, but you'd have had to blacked out and come to driving down the wrong side of the road. If you expect acceptance from these masters of gin-soaked sin, you gotta be as awful as all of us before we let you in. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting, we're sick and proud. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting. You got dues to pay. Let me see your resume. Did you really live in the bars? Let me see your scars. Did you truly defile yourself? How much of your liver is left? Before we give you the nod, you gotta believe we are God.
Michael Purrington and his group, The Messengers. Listen, we love you guys, each and every one of you. Please send us an email if you hate us, love us, whatever. Oh, my goodness. Dion, thank you as always. Kat, thank you for
having me
for
on.
being here. And Roger McDermott, if you're listening, we'll see you next week, hopefully. And
Love you, brother.
There we go. All right. Until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man along with the rest of the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
Don't let the weights of the past keep you down. There's a melody here to turn it around. In each story and song you'll find a friend, a chorus of courage that'll never end.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.